Hey, everybody, welcome back to Archaeology After Dark. I'm your host, Daniel Rhodes. This is the second recording of this episode because the first one went off the deep end so badly that we had to do it over again. My guest is the very awesome Beth Lundgren. Beth, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Daniel.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name's Beth Lundgren. I am an undergraduate at the University of West Alabama. Getting my major is history with a minor in anthropology. Wow, I just forgot what my major was for a minute. That was a little bad. Um, I'm currently a senior and just trying to figure out what to do after this year, if this year goes as planned, which it should.
So, Beth, you're an archaeology student. What do you like most about studying archaeology?
I like being outside. I like that I don't have to. There is the part where I can be inside and be in the lab, and I get to handle like all these cool artifacts, and I get to wash them and label them and do all that fun stuff. And I like being outside. Like I can't see myself sitting in a desk job. Like I don't like now that I've seen this and I know what this world is. Like I look back and I'm like, why did I ever think I could work a desk job? Like this is so much more fun to be able to go outside and just enjoy what I do and enjoy the weather, even if it is, 100 degrees and hot and I'm dying a little bit. But it's just fun to be
For
outside.
for those of you who get our newsletter, you might have seen a lovely picture of Beth covered up with a blanket over the summer that one of our members took. It's a really great picture. So now you actually know who Beth is because you've seen a picture of her, kind of, even if she is covered up with a blanket.
Picture people have probably seen if they've seen articles and stuff.
Yeah.
There's the horseshoe picture from last year that's,
But
almost
no,
there.
they picked the blanket picture because why not?
Because that's the picture that happened this summer and the article came out this summer or the newsletter.
So you spent a majority of the summer at the Mobilla site. That's where the picture was taken. What is working at that site like?
An adventure. I mean, it's something new every day where, we're hoping that we're going to get cool things out of the ground. And then when you do, it's like, well, like this is this. And like, I have Dr. Jim Knight and Dr. Ashley Dumas, who's my professor at UWA, who like this is my first ever dig was last year on one of the same sites that we were on this summer. So I'm still very new to this. I don't know what a lot of things are, and I'm getting there through time. But like to be able to like pick something up and being like, "Hey, Dr. Dumas, like look at this. This is cool. Like, can you tell me what this is?" Like I'm getting a lot of knowledge from everyone that's volunteered and is like currently volunteering because they've been doing this for a while. They know a bit more than me, and I don't know. It's just a cool learning process to be able to go out in the field and learn in the field and not through a textbook. So like I'm taking intro to archaeology this semester, and like I'm sitting in class and I'm like, yeah, like I know this. Like everyone else around me is like taking notes, and I'm like, I'm taking notes too, but it's like I know this. Yeah, so it's kind of like really cool for me to learn it in the field rather than learning from textbooks and just kind of,
Yeah, that's something I've like had a lot of experience talking to people in the field with is, after they can see it and touch it, going back to the classroom, just doesn't have the same effect and they can, see it and touch it and know that like whatever historical period it's from actually happened.
it's like I can sit here and talk about this, or I can go back to the lab and work and wash and label and handle these things. Like, I'm able to touch them. I'm looking at them, 2 centimeters away from me. Like it's that's just probably like the coolest part to me about being on the project is, I'm learning from, some very knowledgeable people and that know what they're talking about and know this time period. And then I'm getting to sit there and I'm getting to work with it and I'm getting to learn it better. And it's just it's I don't know, it's just fun.
Yeah, it's something really special about just like being there in the field and knowing that the environment was what the evidence is telling you it was. Like, oh, we found some native pottery here, so that people were here 300-400 years ago, and they actually like lived there. They made their life there in that place.
Yeah.
So, what did you like most about being out at the Mobilla site? Like, what is the interesting thing about it?
The interesting thing about it is, we think we have the providence, and we think we're pretty close to finding it, but at the end of the day, like, we're we're almost positive we have the providence, but it's like kind of every day, like, what are we gonna find today? What are we gonna find it today? Are we like it? Are we gonna find a piece of Spanish metal next to a native pot? Like, what are we like? It's an adventure every day. Like, you don't really like what you're gonna pull out of the ground for the most part. Like, but there's always that you're pulling stuff up, and it's kind of you're getting the pottery and the bones, and then you pull something up and you're like, oh wait, that's not what I thought I was gonna find. And it's kind of like that every day. Like, it's just a new adventure every day. You're pulling. It's just awesome. And the argument that people have of where it is, it's not fun to be in the middle of, but at the same time, it kind of is, because it's like, I kind of think you're both wrong, and here's why. Like, not really like that, but like kind of seeing if we can prove where it is for the first time ever. I think that's really cool to be like a part of something like that. That's just completely not usual.
Yeah. And that's not the only thing you spent your time working on this summer. You came and helped at the junior archaeology program we did in Florence and at the end of the July.
It was a lot of fun.
So, what did you like about that?
Um, I liked all the kids that came because they knew when they signed up, the parents knew when they signed up that this was going to be archaeology. Some of them, were smaller and came in thinking dinosaurs. It's not what they got, but most of them came in and they were like, they had an idea of what it was, and it was kind of furthering the knowledge of like children. So like they don't grow up like me going, well, I thought archaeology was dinosaurs until I was 19. They kind of grow up with a little bit more of understanding of what we do, and it gets them interested at an earlier age. So I think that's pretty cool. And also the show, like the amount of people we had come in was incredible. Like I don't think I stopped talking to kids until lunch was like my first break, and a few times when I had to go to the restroom. Like it was constant flow. Kids, 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 kids. And they all came over to me, and like I'm at the washing station, and I'm like, what, you want to do this? You want to watch some, old stuff? And they're like, yeah. And they get so excited because they're like, this is so fun. And I'm like, put your hand in the water, because you're good. Like, I'm gonna
Put
let you
your
do.
hand in the water and scrub it off.
Exactly. I was like, take your little fingers and just rub, 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 rub. And like the kids had so much fun with that. And I don't know if that's a kid thing, but the fact that they got to put their hands in water and dirt was like so cool to them. They're like,
I think a lot of them were stoked that we were telling them that not only were they getting to learn something, but we were telling them that it was okay to get dirty.
yeah. And that's all a kid wants to do. They want to go outside, or most of them. I'm not going to say all of them. Most of them want to go outside. They want to go play outside. They want to go get dirty. But when it's so hot, sometimes parents are hesitant to let them go outside. It's 100 degrees, and you're letting your 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old run around, pass out of a heat stroke before you know it. I mean, like,
Yeah.
anyone could be hot. So for them to be able to come out, the weather was, fairly decent for us. It got hot there for a bit, but I mean, it stayed, cloud coverage was pretty good. It stayed pretty chill. And they were just circling through it, and they looked like every kid I talked to, like it didn't matter what station they came from. I was like, "Are you having fun?" They're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "That's awesome, dude. We're gonna have some more fun right now. Like, let's do this." And I think that just, like seeing that was kind of cool, because I'm not like a kid person, and I was nervous going in because like I only knew a few people on the staff of the volunteer staff, and so I was kind of new environment, new people, so I was a little nervous for that. And then I'm like, well, I'm not great with kids, but then the kids would come up, and I don't know, switch in my brain like flipped, and I was like, hey, like I don't know, it was just something new for me that I've never really done before, and it was just fun.
Yeah. So, for those of you who have been following what we're doing a lot of more community based activities like, this junior archaeology program. It's the first time we'd ever done it. We had a great turnout. Thanks in no small part to Beth and our other volunteers who showed up and helped us. We can't thank them enough. And we are going to be doing more stuff like that in the future because of the success we had on this project.
Yeah, It was fun. A lot of fun.
We like letting kids get dirty.
Yep.
We also gave them popsicles and stuff, so they loved it. So
I was next to the popsicles and I never
yeah,
got a chance.
that did make Beth one of the more popular people that day because she was in fact next to the popsicles and the snacks.
Yeah. The parents would like the kids would see snacks and go, and the parents were like, "Hey, well, come here first. Come here. Like, let's wash some things, and then you can, go get a snack." And the kids were like, "Yeah, okay. Like, yeah." It was like a normal day for them. They were like, "Wash pop or wash this snacks," and then it was like next station.
And that pace actually continued until like 2:30, 3 o'clock when we actually started to pack up and we were like, okay, we are done for the day. Let's all sit for like 20 minutes and decide we're gonna go home.
Yeah, because it was like we were supposed to stay open until 3:30, and then like at 3 we started hearing thunder, and that was kind of like we're standing under tents that have metal poles, and it was like wrap it up, and we had two kids that came in right before the thunder started, like right before, so we kind of quickly took them through things, and then we started shutting down, and we had what 4 or 5 people come by and are like, "Are y'all still going?" And it's like, we heard thunder and lightning. It's probably not the safest for us to be out here, for the kids to be out here, for you to be out here. So we were like, no, we've kind of shut something, or we've shut down a little bit. So
Yeah, that was the one drawback for the day, but everything else went way better than we ever could have planned it for. And again, we want to thank our volunteers, people who came out, everybody, our board who actually let us, you know, set this whole project in motion and it didn't blow up in our face, which was fantastic.
yeah, and what we had 88 sign up,
Yeah,
88.
we capped the final registration at 100 people and we filled that up. And then people could still like walk up and just like hang out for the day. We printed 200 certificates and I think we used all of them. So we had 200 people show up.
It was crazy, but it was fun.
Oh, yeah, it was a great time. We had an amazing time. So, Beth, anything else you want to, give advice to anybody about, like, especially students who are getting interested in archaeology? What advice would you give them?
Uh, if you think you're interested and you get the opportunity to go out and walk a field, yes, walking fields isn't great fun. It's you're looking down at the ground for however long, or you get the opportunity to go in the lab and help out, or you get if you get an opportunity from an archaeology professor, an anthro professor, and they want you to come help because they know you're interested, go do it. Go do it. That's what I did. And look at me. I'm in it now. Full steam ahead.
Yeah, you're hooked on it now. It
But
happens. I mean, that's how I started out. I went looking for the West Alabama chapter of the Archaeological Society, and I ended up spending all 3 months of the summer in the archaeology lab, like looking and touching things. I'm like, this is so cool.
yeah, if you get opportunities, take them.
Yeah,
Just don't think about it. Don't sit there and ponder, well, I don't know. No, take it. Take it.
yeah. Like, don't be afraid to go and talk to your professors, your advisors. If you're in college, your advisors are way more helpful than you might imagine them to be. They don't just know what you want. They know like all kinds of people that you can go volunteer with. Like especially our student activities council. You can always come and volunteer with us. We have events going out throughout the year, and you just need to be able to find us. It's that easy. So I think that's going to wrap us up for the day. Beth, thanks so much for being here.
Yeah.
We go ahead.
No, I was just saying thanks for having me.
Yeah, we managed to get through this second one almost perfectly without going straight off a cliff with terrible jokes like we did in the first one.
So that's look, there's not gonna be a blooper reel of like 5 minutes. It's just gonna be 30 minutes of me and Daniel just it started off so good and then the car just boom. Like the car was going so smooth and then it didn't know there was a cliff and it didn't stop for the cliff.
But this is the one we want all of you to see. It's well done, it's professional, and we didn't talk about watercolors or drinking Bailey's out of a shoe.
No. No, none of that.
All right. Thanks everybody, and we will see you next time on Archaeology After Dark. Bye.